Cutting the Edge. I'm your host, Tana, and my student fellows,
Langston.
Santea.
And Demetrius.
and today we have a special guest, Keith Rivers from Alabama A&M University, majoring in mechanical engineering.
Hey, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us a little about yourself, Mr. Rivers.
Well, I'm from Austell, Georgia. That's 15 minutes outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And I go to Alabama A&M University, as you guys mentioned, and studying mechanical engineering. It's a great major. So,
What sparked your interest in mechanical engineering and pursuing a STEM degree?
really, it was my parents. Like, I always had a knack for STEM, but it's really been, like, when I was younger, I used to play with, like, trains and cars and stuff all the time. And then as I got older, I loved to try to help, like, fix stuff around the house, from lawnmowers to lights. So then my parents would constantly say, hey, you should look into engineering, or you should look into being some type of engineer. And I looked into it, and I decided to go with mechanical.
Can you describe a typical day or week as a mechanical engineering student at Alabama A&MU?
Yes, I can. Now, I'm not a typical student. So, like, for me, I'll get up in the morning around 6, go work out. Then after my workout, I'll eat breakfast. Then by then it's about 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock. I'll shower up. Then from there, I'm straight to the engineering building, take my classes. I'll go study. I'll study right after my class, and then from there I'm helping out different professors or trying to organize my various groups on campus. And I'll stay in the building until about 7:30-ish. I'm probably being a little bit generous with the time. After that, go home, study a little bit, eat, and get ready to do it all over again.
What
Okay.
does your class, course, and study entail?
Say it again.
What does your coursework and studies entail?
Well, I can tell you this, it entails a whole lot of math. So if you guys aren't ready to do any math, or math is intimidating, I would say don't be intimidated by it. You just gotta understand how to apply it. So it's that, and then it's a lot of critical thinking, because engineering is mainly that. It's just you're looking at different things in the world and thinking, how can I improve it? How can I innovate it? How can I make this easier to use? So, yeah.
Okay. What has been the most challenging aspect of your mechanical engineering study so far, and how did you overcome or persevere through that challenge?
Well, the most challenging part of it really it was the adjustment from going from high school to college. Now in grade school, so elementary and high school, well, elementary through high school, it's an 80-20 type of learning style, whereas in college is opposite, it's 20-80. So I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. 80-20, that means that you're getting 80% of what you're learning in the classroom. So in your lectures and coursework, and 20% is by yourself, and you're doing like your homework and stuff like that. Whereas in college, you get 20% in the classroom, and 80% you got to read the book, you got to do your homework, and do a whole lot of outside research. And I think that was like one of the main adjustments I had to make. But from there, it's like once you make that adjustment, everything opens up for you.
Are there any particular areas or specialties within mechanical engineering that you find most fascinating your field or study?
Yeah, actually, it's a lot in my field that I can even expound on. But some of the main things in particular, like when it comes down to creating stuff or trying to invent something, like you can use your computer to actually make something. Like, for instance, this mug on the table, you can actually use a CAD design to make that, and then you can also 3D print it. Like, there's a lot of toys out here now that we have created through these different softwares, and then we created it with 3D printers, like just as a prototype, and then from there we'll get our materials like our hard plastic or rubber and actually create it. So that's like one of the cooler parts of the engineering world, in my opinion.
For high school students considering a STEM major like mechanical engineer, what advice or insights could you provide?
So really, you'll have to, if you want to do STEM, I'll say go for it. And like, if you want to be a mechanical engineer in specific, I'll say definitely look into it because it's a lot that you can do from it. Like, engineering and mechanical engineering at that is not just like working on cars or like fixing the lights and stuff. Is more to it. Like, you can actually take your mechanical engineering degree and work at a national laboratory or go work for an Apple company, like a company like that. Even work on cars. Like, I have a program, or the school has a program at our school that that actually builds a Formula SAE car to actually like drive it in competition. And then I have a aerospace based program that builds drones, and we're trying to get a satellite up into space now. So that's like, it's a lot of stuff that you can take with that. So I'll say if you want to go into STEM, definitely look into it because it's a major thing going on in the world.
Outside of academics, are you involved in any clubs, organizations, or research opportunities related to your field of study?
Yes, a lot actually. I have 4 different clubs that I'm a president of, and I'm a member of 2 additional like educational clubs. I would name them all, but it's a whole lot. If you guys like, if you guys want to hear them, I will. But if not, you know.
What role do you think diversity and inclusion play in the STEM fields, and how can we encourage more unrepresented groups to pursue these careers?
Now, diversity and inclusion, it plays a major role in the STEM fields, actually. Like, it gives you the opportunity and the chance to say, you know what, I can do this. And a lot of times, people are swayed away from that STEM field because they don't feel like they'll be looked at the same or looked at like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. But it's definitely something that's important in the field, actually. So if that answers your question all the way.
Yeah.
Can you share an example of a project or excitement from your studies that you found particularly rewarding, or that exemplify the real world applications of mechanical engineering?
Actually, yes, I can. Matter of fact, there's one that I did recently. We finished it up in January, like late January. I was helping out a small city here in Alabama. If you guys are familiar with York, Alabama, it's in Sumter County. I helped them out with like recreating or producing a proposal to increase or not increase, but I'll say redo their wastewater treatment facility. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, a wastewater treatment facility, that's like, think of it like your sewage system. So, York, Alabama, just to give you guys a small synopsis of what happened, their sewage systems wasn't working out how they're supposed to. So, with that being said, like the sewage would back up in the homes, and it wasn't like a good situation for them. So, it was me and a team of 4. Like, it was 2 computer science majors and another civil engineer that we all went down there, looked at York, Alabama, the city. We looked at different sites in that city, and we came up with a feasible plan to actually recreate a better sewage system for them. And in January, we actually presented to the DOE, Department of Energy, our proposed system. And from there, from the last thing I heard from that project, the DOE had approved our proposal, and now they're trying to innovate what we took from our synopsis and implement it into city. So that was like one of the coolest projects I worked on.
What are your future goals or aspirations after graduating Alabama A&M? Do you plan to enter the workforce or pursue further education?
So right now, I'm definitely leaning towards pursuing a master's degree, and from that master's, I'll probably try to get a PhD too. I'm still trying to see where exactly I'm trying to go. But as far as this STEM, as far as STEM goes and engineering, I'm trying to actually put, what you guys are doing here is big, and I'm actually trying to implement more of this in my community back in Austell, so, and everywhere else, because one of the main things is getting more people in the STEM, getting more of our people in the STEM. So I'm trying to get something like that going. I'm on the right track with some of the clubs that's on campus, and with the outreach programs that we have, I'm trying to just go on, start making these connections now. So then once I actually start doing some stuff on my own, it'll be easier. So I can go up to Huntsville and have a base. I can come down to Birmingham and have a base. You guys can come to Atlanta and y'all have some people that's doing pretty much what you guys are doing, and then we'll just expand from there. So that's where I'm trying to take it right now.
If you could go back in time, what advice would you give your younger self about embarking on STEM degree and pursuing medical engineering?
I'll tell myself to, one, listen to what people are telling you. Your mom is telling you some of the stuff that you'll need in the long run. Two, I'll tell them to definitely look into what you really want to do in life. Like, if you're trying to do this STEM stuff, do it to the full extent. Don't even hold back. Because when I was younger, actually, my first love was basketball. I was playing, and by my senior year of high school, I ended up tearing my meniscus. So my perspective completely changed. But I just tell myself to go with the flow, follow my instincts. Definitely pray more about it, and connect with people that you feel will be a good source of knowledge for you. So that's what I tell myself.
Before we end this podcast, I have to say, do you have any questions for us, Mr. Rivers?
Yes. My first question for you guys: How are y'all days going so far?
It's okay.
It's going good.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
And for you guys to be doing this podcast like this, were you guys nervous at any point in time? Did y'all feel like, it wasn't what y'all, did y'all have to step out of y'all boundaries?
Yeah.
Not really, but yeah, at the same time.
Me personally, I did have to step out my bubble because I don't talk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When I had went over the questions, but I was still stuttering, the rewarding, I couldn't say that. So yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Dimitri?
I didn't think it was too hard.
Okay. Now, I would say this, with how everything is going now, how you guys are doing, what you guys are doing, continue to do it, because one of the things about life, you got to step out your bubble sometimes. Sometimes you have to look at where you at and look at how you can elevate. And this is elevating you, because now you're able to talk to people. So we can put you in a room full of 100 people, 500, 1,000, and you can talk just how you're talking to me. It's just a regular conversation. So, but I think that's all the questions I have for you guys today.
I got 2 questions for you.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 22. Yeah, I
And,
know I'm a little old, but it's okay.
Has anybody ever told you that you kind of look like little TJ?
I heard that once, and I was in New York, when I heard it. So I was like, nah, I think they just talking.
Nah, they tell the truth, man. It's true.
I don't know.
Does anybody have any more questions? Thank you so much for coming on the podcast once again. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.